Hello and welcome to UNCP Play. I'm Cory Hartsoe and we're joined by musician, singer, songwriter Dan Ouimet. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Thank you, Cory. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. Dan, I understand you perform in several groups with a wide range of musical styles. Tell us about the bands and people you perform with.
Well, Cory, I've been very fortunate to meet some talented musicians in Durham, and a few years ago I actually started an Irish band. And I've met a group of wonderful musicians, and we've actually been playing the circuits from Greensboro to the coast ever since. But since then, through those musicians, I've met other people and networked and started up several other bands. But the Irish band is my main focus. And then I also do an acoustic rock show with a friend of mine that I met, so we have a lot of fun with that. And in addition to that, most recently I started playing with these talented musicians from Carborough, doing original rock and roll music and just writing original material, which it's been a lot of fun.
That is very interesting. Playing in such various musical styles, you must have opportunities to perform a lot of different venues. Where have you performed and how do you handle this?
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about music. Music is such an integral part of most people's lives. We played at backyard parties, we played at weddings, travel promotion companies have hired us. We played just about anywhere, on the street, in clubs.
Gotcha.
And so that's pretty much the focus of where we play our music. And we've been very fortunate to have venues that want to hire us and have us entertain their customers and their friends and family.
Gotcha. It's also important to get your name out there. That's a biggie. We had the privilege of a live performance earlier. Let's get a listen to Dan's performing two original songs, Been So Long and It's Warm in Your Kitchen.
Baby, now I'm tired of waiting on you. Baby, now I'm tired of waiting on you. You got me waiting so long, I don't know what to do. The day rolls on, the night is for long. The day rolls on, and the night is for long. Oh baby, now where you been so long? Got my bags packed, gonna head out on the road. I got my bags packed, gonna head out on the road. You don't know by now, the road is where I'm home. When I'm dead and gone, who'll sing my songs? When I'm dead and gone, maybe you'll sing my song. Time has come for me to say my farewell. 6 feet underground is too far away. 6 feet underground is too far away. someday will come, and you'll see things my way. I said, hey baby, what you got cooking? Been searching my life, but you I've been looking for. Hey pretty mama, I don't think it's a sin to let me in from the cold, right into your kitchen. Hey now honey, it's getting late, don't you take too long, don't you hesitate now. Come on darling, won't you let me in? 'Cause it's cold out here, and it's warm in your kitchen. So come on girl, don't believe what they say, I'll never do you wrong, and I'm here to stay. Come on girl, won't you give me a chance, 'cause I'm tired of waiting and you're making me dance. So come on baby, don't you know it won't be long before I have to go, and I'll be on my way, I won't return again. And you can wait all you want, alone in your kitchen, that's right.
That was Been So Long and It's Warm in Your Kitchen by Dan Ouimet. Dan, when it comes to writing and performing, how does working as a solo artist compare to playing with a band?
That's a great question. Being a solo artist, it kind of puts everything on your shoulders, and with that is good and bad. Certainly having a group of people to go to for consultation, for ideas and direction makes it easy in that regard, but also makes it frustrating because a lot of musicians have different things, different ideas about what they want to do with their music and how they want to do it. And being with a band, it's there's more camaraderie. So a solo act, for the most part, you're doing the creative part yourself, and with the band, there's just a lot more that comes with it. So
Right.
I think there's good for doing both of those, and that's why I do both.
I noticed on the Barley, Corn, and Rye website that you play something called a bouzouki. I have to ask, what's a bouzouki, and what's it make it so unique?
Oh, that's a great question too. In fact, if there's one question I get asked more than any other, that would be it. At shows, people would come up to me and say, hopefully they say great show, which is always nice. But then they would say, what are you playing? And I would say, well, it's technically an octave mandolin, but a bouzouki is an instrument that came from Turkey back in the early 20th century and became very popular. And some Irish musicians in the late 60s kind of adapted it into their their musicianship. And I actually have it with me if you'd like me to. I could show you a little bit about what it is.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see.
It's kind of known for its shape. As you can see, it's kind of like a teardrop is what they call it.
Gotcha.
And so, like I said, it is a bouzouki instrument, but it's technically an octave mandolin. And what I mean by that is it's basically tuned one octave lower than a standard mandolin, which is tuned like a violin as far as the tunings. The bouzouki is actually tuned a little bit differently, so the chords are different. But as a mandolin player, I was able to adapt to this version of the bouzouki very easily because I didn't have to learn new chords, which is always nice. But
Right.
so it was kind of an easy transition. And yeah, if you like, I could play your song, and you can.
I'd love to hear it.
Great.
Just can't ignore. I've seen this before. I know what it feels like. And I've been wronged. My mind has been racing. My heart has been breaking, thinking about you, babe. What you've done. Think about the times we spent together through stormy weather and the thick and thin. I guess that is over. It's time to move on. Now that you're gone, I can move on. I know that I can start again. I know that I can start again.
Great. So that was Moving On by Dan Ouimet. What inspired you to write that song?
You know, I actually I wrote that song about 4 years ago, and quite frankly, I forget what inspired it. But a lot of the songs that I write are inspired by part fiction, part nonfiction. You know, there's things that have happened to you in your life and that everyone can experience and relate to.
Gotcha.
So some of it comes from things that have happened to me directly or somebody close to me. But a lot of times it's embellished by, you know, things that you read or see and just kind of make a story out of something that makes sense. And I think that song, you know, Moving On, a song about, you know, felt like you've been done wronged and you're leaving and breaking up, something that people can relate to, and I just kind of went with that.
Gotcha. Well, that's definitely interesting. What was your first instrument, and what other instruments do you play?
Well, my first instrument actually is drums. And when I was in 8th grade, they had band class, and when you go to class, they hand you a ticket and they say, write 2 instruments you want to play. Well, when I was in 8th grade, I really wasn't thinking about music too much. So I chose trumpet and drums, and sure enough, they had enough trumpet players because my last name starts with an O. So by the time they get to the end of the alphabet, all the important instruments were taken. So I just give them drums. But anyway, I fell in love with them, and I found out a few years later my dad played drums. So maybe there's something in the blood there.
Gotcha.
And so after that, I just played drums for many years, and then about 5 or 6 years ago, I picked up some stringed instruments, the mandolin. A friend of mine brought it over one day, and I just started playing with it and fell in love with it. And then after the mandolin, I picked up an upright bass, and then harmonica and ukulele, and whatever I can get my hands on. I'm always looking for new instruments. I've dabbled with banjo a little bit. I'd love to spend more time doing, some clawhammer banjo and things like that. So it's a lot of fun learning new instruments.
Gotcha. That's definitely interesting. During the earlier live recording, Michelle Fazio joined with you to perform as Dan and the Footnotes. Let's hear Deceptive Tide and Hop the Pearly Gate.
I got one foot up, I got one in the grave. Soul is run down and I can't be saved. It's a hell of a mess I got myself into. Well, all I wanna do is go home with you. It seems right to do wrong, again and again, so I'll hop the pearly gates if they don't let me in. I don't like my chances, but I've been told you pay the preacher man and I'll save your soul. Well, I'll buy my time, I got nothing to give, but I ain't worth a dime as long as I live. So I'll hop the pearly gates if they don't let me in. Nothing I can say except to live my life hard till I'm buried in the clay. I got my pedal to the metal, but I'm low on gas. When I'm on my whiskey, I an empty flask. It seems right to do wrong again and again, so I'll hop the pearly gates if they don't let me in. Don't let me in. So I'll hop the pearly gates if they don't let me in. I said I'll hop the pearly gates if they don't let me in. You struggle with the demons inside. All that sorrow won't take you alive. So fight back hard and wash all them blues away. So set your mind at ease, you made it through another day. Your head's in the game, but your body falls behind. Say the right things, but you know they're a lie. So turn the page and move on down the line. The story's not over until the day you die. The story's not over until the day you die. inside your head. Forget all you know, 'cause you've only been misled. Tables turned, now you've got the upper hand this time. Don't be dragged down under by the weight of deceptive tide. Don't be dragged down under by the weight of the deceptive tide.
You're watching UNCP play. That was Dan and the Footnotes performing Deceptive Tide and Hop the Pearly Gate. Dan, you performed with several bands. Tell us about Dan and the Footnotes. How did the band form, and how did you come up with the name?
Well, as you mentioned earlier in the show, I play with a lot of bands and in all different genres, which just keeps me busy periodically throughout the year. And,
Gotcha.
and most of those bands are cover bands, except for the one band from Carborough, Pedal Steel. So I wanted to create a band where I could actually do my original music. And unfortunately, there aren't as many opportunities to play out live as an original band. So I wanted to create this band where I could go into the studio and record all the ideas that I've had accumulated over the years, original material, and just go with it. And the name kind of just came to us. We were actually in Oklahoma City traveling, and we met up with some friends, and we started jamming. And somebody noticed that I was playing tambourine with my foot. And as a drummer, when I play out as the Footnotes, and I play kick drum and percussion with my feet. So somebody mentioned, all the musicians around me are the Footnotes. And I thought that was a perfect name. And I say that because the footnote is the most important detail in anything, because that's where the detail is and that's where the support comes from. So I thought that would be perfect. So it kind of has two connotations, footnotes being actual percussion that I play with my feet, and also the people that will be playing with me and supporting and making the music what it is.
I gotcha. Sometimes best names come out of just live examples, what happens.
Yeah, they just come to you, and then when you hear them, you're like, that's it.
Right. I understand that Dan and the Footnotes will have a new album out this year. What can you tell us about how the new album evolved and what we can expect when it comes out?
Yeah, I'm hoping, the plan is by the end of the year to record all of my original material, some that we've heard here on the program, and there's a whole bunch more. And I'll be gathering as many footnotes together as possible in a supporting role to help me get it done. And it'll be a mix of acoustic folk music, a little bit of blues with full drums and bass and electric guitar, and whatever other instruments come to us at the time of recording to make it sound good. So it'll be a surprise, so you'll have to check it out when it's done.
That's cool. Dan, we've run out of time. We'd like to thank you for your time and Dan and the Footnotes for their performance. For more about this episode, Dan's musical projects, or to enjoy the show again, visit uncpplay.com. We are going to have Dan play us out with his song, Another Time.
I don't know why I've been feeling this way. I'm trying to find my way like a needle in the hay. Yes, I'm trying. Yeah, every day. When I lay my head to sleep and go to sleep upon each night, I think about the ways you used to hold me real tight, how I dreamed. Yeah, it felt so right. Ooh, I'm blinded by the trees as they stand in my way. I call out your name, but it comes right back to me with no reply. Yeah, no reply. The days are all numbered and the nights they stand alone. They pass by so quickly, and as soon as we know it, they're gone. Gone, gone, gone. I remember what you said, that you never let me down. You'd always try your best just to be around. When times got tough, as tough as they could be, I look to you now, baby, you to me. In another time, always there for me. Let's hop the next train and headed out of town. Say not a word to me, honey, and wrap your arms around. Tell me what you think, whisper in my ear about the good times we had all through the years. In another time, you were always there for me. I remember what you said when we first met. You'd always live your life with no regret. All I can say and all I can do is be by your side, and I'll always be true. In another time, you were always there for me. You were there for me, always there for me.